Hi there. Hi there. This is a quick little video to tell you that I'm still trying. I'm still here. Haven't given up yet. As you can see, we are in Riverdance, not in the intermediate not in the intermediate game. But we're not really even in Riverdance. We're in a test game that I created just so that I could, I had to get rid of everything in the computer. I mean, all of the City Skylines stuff in the computer had to be taken out. Everything had to be put back in, and everything had to be tested. Every single mod, asset, prop, everything had to be tested one at a time, and it takes 15 to 20 minutes to test each one. So I'm still in process after 2.5 weeks of trying to do this. I have a nice gentleman in Paradox who is named Andrew, who I'm giving kudos to because he's helping me to figure out what's wrong. I've reached the point where I've pretty much figured out that it's got something to do with the pedestrian paths in the parks, believe it or not. This particular game opened up with an array index last time, before this time, and you couldn't see the pedestrian lanes in the park. You couldn't see the pedestrian paths. Now, of course, you can see them. I mean, these are all pedestrian paths right here, because it opened up this time. Same exact game, no difference, no change. Same exact game opened up without the array index. So sometimes it pops up with the game, and sometimes it doesn't. If it does, you don't see any of these paths, and you also don't see the entrances and exits to the, in case any of you are running into this problem, I haven't solved it yet, but I'm sure Andrew will figure it out. All this grass here will completely cover this entrance area, which is a vanilla thing in the, it has to do with the game itself. It's not a mod or a prop or an asset. It's just part of the game, and that part of the game, like the pedestrian paths, is covering over with grass and is just not showing. And I'm sure I sent him an email. It's a weekend. We won't hear from him until probably 2 or 3 days from now, because I'm sure he has weekends off too, like we do. So I'm just waiting for an answer at this point. At least I finally figured out that that's probably what's causing the problem, or at least it's the symptom of the problem that maybe he can chase down. Meantime, let's see, I did walk through in this area for the previous series, so I think we'll go up to this area. Let me get up here. And I was thinking I might get down here where I had to put in new, you wouldn't know that if you don't follow this series, but I had to put in new promenades here. These guys right here, I'll tab down into it. Whoa, I went down further than I thought I was gonna. Let's get up here a ways. Okay, so in this entire peninsula of this upper area, I decided to make the whole thing commercial this time. But, you know, city commercial, not nighttime commercial. I put the nighttime commercial elsewhere. And so I have a lot of this park in here. And I always have to stay near the center of it. I'll just stay up in here and walk through it. And I changed the trees. I did have Mr. Maison's shady trees, and some other guy, Shroom I think, had a willow tree. I had those two in there. I went ahead when I brought it all back into the game. Mr. Maison had made a eucalyptus tree set of them, so I put those in because they're tall and big like we want, but they're more airy, more open, and I thought that might, you know, do this with the pretty shadows and whatnot on the ground, much prettier shadows. So we have that now. Gosh, it looks like there's nobody in that one. Is there anybody over here? Any people? I just put it in, so you know it's probably, it hasn't had in game time even 2 days to get people in it, so probably nobody will be in there. I don't see. There we go. There's a little girl we could follow. She's at least on the right side of the park. I don't know if I can go as fast as she does. We'll see where she's going. I'm beginning to think I should have just jumped onto her instead of going first person. Okay, who's this getting out here? Oh, it's one of those tourist ladies that you can't very well grab hold of. Okay, next person who comes through here, I'm going to nab onto. Matter of fact, I think I'll just get out of the get out of the first person and grab the next person who's on a bike that I see go by in that area. If I can get down there. Gosh. It's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. I want somebody going this direction. And I don't want them going this direction so far that I can't grab them. Huh. They all got ahead of me. Okay, maybe I'll be able to get some more here later. I just need one person. Aha! I found one. I think I found one. I'm pretty sure I found one. I think it's another little girl. Right there is Elizabeth Young, an uneducated teen. Yeah, they call these kids teens, but I swear to God, they look like they're 9 years old. They're the little girl that does the hopscotch thing, or used to before she started doing the little wavy dance. And I guess somebody said she was too young to be doing hopscotch, but they needed to fix her body too. If they're going to do, they should have just changed the name and said, you know, sub-teen or 7-year-old or whatever. Anyway, we're going through the commercial area with Elizabeth Young. She's going home, and hopefully she'll go through this whole commercial area on the way, because it's kind of pretty to look at this and the houses across the canal there. Well, I should say apartment buildings across. See, across the canal is all residential, and you can just barely see them off to the right. Those are all houses in the front against the canal, and just behind them are a bunch of apartments. That way more of the Sims or residents of the town get to see, have the canal view. If I put the apartments right up against the canal and the houses inside the peninsula, they wouldn't see much. This way they get a view also, which is, you gotta admit, it's gotta be nice, right? And it looks like the only people going into the park there were the tourists. So yeah, it hasn't been out there that long. And we're leaving the commercial area now. This whole peninsula is commercial area, so if Elizabeth is going home to a residence, she's either going over that bridge or through a metro to another residential area, because there's residential area on both sides of both canals that surround this commercial peninsula area. But I don't, apparently she's going to this one. This is great. We got somebody to ride with who's going quite a ways. I think she's going to be going over the peninsula. Yes. There she goes. That's kind of nice, getting to ride over the bridge. My apologies to those of you who wanted to see more of the intermediate game. I'm not going to open it up right now because I'm afraid the computer will trash it. Until Andrew's figured out what's wrong, or helped me figure out what's wrong, we can't do too much in the beginner's game or the other game, or Riverdance for that matter. This looks like Riverdance, but honestly it's not. I mean, I just threw some things onto the map for Riverdance, just so I'd have something to work with, and you know, then started slapping in the assets and the props, meaning basically the parks. You know, and things like the enhanced hearses and the 81 tile mod, so we'd have a bigger area to work with. Oh. See, now this time, instead of going across on a bridge, I made an overpass that went across as a bridge to go over. I think that's what this does. To go over to the metro section, I think. Not sure, but I think that's what this is. No, we're not there yet. But that's where she's headed, I think. She's headed for the metro. Yeah, she is. We're going to be jumping on the metro any minute now. Well, I guess I better get ready to see what's inside the metro if we're getting on the metro. You know, because you can't see the people around you unless you click this little icon up here once you get inside the metro. And if you're in a sim and you're going inside the metro, once you start down those stairs, you got to click this little bus up here in order to be able to see the shadows of all the people that are down there with you, or the shadows of the metro trains. I guess we can call them trains. Yep, I can hear it underground already. So it's just off to the right here. She's going to be riding her bike down. It's funny, they ride their bikes down into the metro, then the bikes disappear. Right about the bottom of the stairs, I think. Okay, going down. There we are. Oh, she must have timed out because I lost her completely. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Well, okay, I guess we'll just make that the end of this one. I'm sorry it wasn't longer, but I just wanted to get one out to, you know, the viewers of each of my series, on the off chance that you're not all viewing all 3 series. If you are, you're going to get 3 things to watch because I put one on each this way. Okay. That's the end of this one. See, I was so lazy when I threw this together, I didn't even put the underground power lines in all the spots. I just threw the power down through wherever I could and just dumped it in there. You know, because I just needed to get it done fast. I didn't want to spend 6 months doing a test game, so I just threw it together. And this is what we wound up with. I guess I can show you what we have here. Even though it's not your game, I mean, you know, if you're not watching this as well, you can see it's not the same. Well, I told the folks in the Riverdance series that it wasn't the same. I showed it to them. So you can go watch that one if you want to see, you know, how it looks. This is most of it. It's not got a whole lot in it, and what's in it doesn't work all the time. I'm just really not happy about that. But I'm sure Andrew's going to figure it out, and I'll be back on track here in another couple of weeks. So kudos to Andrew, and kudos to Paradox for having that facility for us to use. Or we might be out here hanging loose with nothing. Then again, there also is the question of why Paradox doesn't have an 81 tile mod or capability in their game now, since there is a mod out that they could just copy. They don't even have to put in the work, you know, to get it. They just have to put it in the game and then keep it updated along with, you know, all of their other things. Same thing for the, you know, that's something that I think Paradox should have had in there. Why give you a map and not let you use it, right? So that's something they should have had in there. Same thing with the enhanced hearses and the enhanced garbage trucks. There's no reason why they couldn't have done what Akira Ishikara did and, you know, made the garbage trucks remain in their zoned areas. And, you know, I mean, she's got good coding on that thing, and there's no reason why they couldn't have done it. See, like I did have cherry trees. I'm sorry, the Riverwalk series with the cherry trees going down here on the original Riverdance, but on this test city, on the Riverdance map, I just put in the standing stones because that's what I had available. You know, you do what you do. Okay. I'm going to, and first person, that should have been something that you should be able to tab down in on first person in the vanilla game and not have to be constantly, you know, wondering if the modder is not going to be able to keep up with their next update coding. These are at least 4 very, very needed mods that should be incorporated into this game. I don't see why they're not. I'm hoping that Paradox will, in future, decide to incorporate them into it. You know, I really hope they will. We'll see if they do or not. Okay, well, that's it for this game and for this episode. And I'll see you in the next one in a couple of days. Bye.